I'm Richard Minns, Milton Keynes citizen for 34 years. We're currently in Oxley Park, which is a relatively new estate. It's one of the last estates of Milton Keynes to be developed. As you can see, it's pretty different. We were the first to move into this estate as well. At the time, I was living with my wife in a suburb of Milton Keynes called Bletchley, famous for the Bletchley codebreakers. And it was a very traditional area, I'd say turn of just actually after the war it was kind of built, so it's that sort of mid-century, 20th century, which we loved. You know, it was a lovely little masonette, but we wanted something different, and I just actually happened to be cycling past Oxley Park, and I saw this odd house thing. I don't even know what it was. It looked like a spaceship, actually. We wanted something different, and it just came up at the right time, so we jumped on it and were the first to move in. Well, this part of Oxley Park and these houses they've been called Legoland. It's a good phrase because it kind of does sum up the sort of angular and sort of the parallel lines of the buildings. The guy who did these houses was a guy called Lord Richard Rogers, famous for designing the Pompidou Centre, Lloyd's of London, and a lot of other really kind of radical buildings. These were the first houses that he actually designed as an architect in nearly 40 years. And this was his first foray back into residential housing. So it was nice that Milton Keynes was, prepared to allow something like that to happen, which kind of goes back to the roots of the city as it was sort of in the late 60s. So, I mean, for me, I think certainly the original planners, the guys who came here in the late 60s and early 70s, who had this sort of free rein to do what they wanted to. They were, I would say, dreamers, and they came up with some really radical ideas about what a built environment should look like. And the architecture that they sort of came up with was a typical Milton Keynes, and you don't see it anywhere else. So for me, it's been very influential in how I look at the world, I think.